One of the oldest and most famous sports in the world is boxing. Even after all these years, it is as thrilling as ever. It's a sport that calls for intelligence, skill, and planning. Additionally, it's a fantastic method to boost confidence and keep fit. The sport of boxing is old. There is evidence that suggests it may have started in the ancient Greek and Roman empires, while the exact beginning date is unknown. It played a significant role in the Olympic Games in 688 BC and has continued to do so ever since. Over the years, boxing has produced many outstanding champions. The sport has been blessed with a wealth of gifted players, from boxers like Muhammad Ali and Joe Louis to current stars like Anthony Joshua and Canelo Alvarez. Over the years, there have been some very incredible fights, from classics like Ali vs. Frazier to the more modern Pacquiao vs. Mayweather match. But today, we will focus on a new rising champion, Javonte "Tank" Davis. Javonte Davis is on the road to becoming one of the most popular boxers. He is among the top fighters in the world and one of the most well-known fighters in the sport. Davis was raised in the West Side District of Baltimore, Maryland, where he was born on November 7, 1994. His childhood was rough, as both of his parents were drug addicts in and out of prison. He constantly had to move between facilities. Davis was introduced to boxing at a young age while growing up in Baltimore, and at the age of 8, he started attending training at the Upton Boxing Center. At the age of 11, Davis started his amateur career. In 2011, he won the National Silver Gloves Championship, and in 2012, at the age of 15, Floyd Mayweather Jr. and his business Mayweather Promotions signed Davis. This marked the start of a very professional boxing career for Davis. He swiftly and rather easily made the move from amateur to professional. On February 22, 2013, Javonte made his professional debut, winning by first-round technical knockout. His subsequent 6 victories were all by technical knockout in the first round. His first-round knockouts gave him the nickname Tank. Soon Javonte had a reputation as a fierce opponent and one of the most thrilling boxers to watch. He was incredibly powerful and had lightning-fast hands. In the ring, he wasn't hesitant to take chances. He advanced through the ranks, and at the age of just 22, he took home his first championship trophy. But there were obstacles in the way of Javonte's success in the ring. His extravagant lifestyle outside of the ring drew criticism, and some even questioned his dedication to the sport. But Javonte remained committed and dedicated, and he developed as a boxer. Javonte's current record is 28-0 with 26 KOs. Let's see some of his best fights. Many would argue that Javonte's best fight was with Leo Santa Cruz, and it most definitely is. One of the most eagerly awaited fights of 2020 was the contest between Leo Santa Cruz and Javonte Davis. Each boxer entered the ring at the peak of their game, and with a lot to prove. Davis at the time was 25 years old, with a record of 24-0 with 23 KOs. Santa Cruz was 32 with a record of 37-1 and 19 KOs. Three-weight world champion Leo Santa Cruz was well known in the sport. He had a strong track record of victories in the ring and was well renowned for his technical prowess and adaptability. Javonte Davis, on the other hand, was a rising star in the sport, who was renowned for his quick hands and knockout strength. He was motivated to outperform Santa Cruz, a seasoned veteran. Both fighters displayed their skill and tenacity in the back-and-forth encounter. Santa Cruz started off strongly, trying to dictate the fight's tempo with his technical prowess. He was successful in making some shots that forced Davis to play defensive, but Davis was able to withstand the attack and bounce back. Davis was able to land some hard strikes that stunned Santa Cruz, and he used his speed and strength to dictate the fight's tempo. Santa Cruz persisted in fighting back and creating a formidable defense in the face of difficulty. He was able to hit Davis with a few blows that put him on the back foot, but Davis was able to use his strength and agility to stay in the battle. Santa Cruz ultimately succumbed to Davis's power, who knocked him out in the 6th round to retain his WBA lightweight championship. Many rank this as Davis's #1 fight, as it was one of his hardest challenges. The next fight that we're going to talk about is the fight against Hugo Ruiz. One of the most eagerly awaited fights of 2019 was the contest between Javonte Davis and Hugo Ruiz. At the time of the fight, Davis was 24 years old, with a record of 21-0 and 20 KOs. Ruiz was 32, with a record of 39 wins and 4 losses, while 33 of them were KOs. Davis was up for the fight despite Ruiz being a formidable and skilled foe. Davis dominated the bout right away thanks to his speed and strength. Ruiz was surprised by numerous of his punches, and in the first round alone, Davis was able to knock him out and retain his WBA super featherweight title. Davis entered the fight with a significant amount of confidence and grit. He was anxious to demonstrate his abilities in the ring and was motivated to establish himself as one of the best fighters in the sport. On the other hand, Ruiz was a skilled fighter with a lot of ring time. He was motivated to prove that he could still compete with the best in the sport and that he was still a top fighter. Davis dominated the contest from the first to the finish, making it a one-sided contest. He was able to control the flow of the fight by utilizing his speed and strength, and he connected on many hard strikes that stunned Ruiz. Ruiz managed to maintain his composure under duress and put up a valiant defense, but Davis's strength and quickness were too much for him to handle. Ruiz was ultimately defeated by Davis's strength, who was able to knock him out in the first round to win the bout and keep the WBA Super Featherweight Championship. Davis's power and hand speed were put on display in this battle, which also cemented his place among the sport's best competitors. He demonstrated absurd striking power, and the public dubbed him as a more aggressive and hard-hitting Mayweather. Next up is Tank vs. Liam Walsh. A heavily hyped-up match between Liam Walsh and Javonte Davis took place in 2017. With an 18-0 record and 17 knockouts, Davis was regarded as one of the sport's top prospects at the time. Walsh, on the other hand, was an experienced veteran with a 21-0 record and 14 knockouts. David was just 22 years old at the time, and Walsh was 31. This matchup was seen as a chance for Walsh to establish himself against a top prospect and a true test for Davis. Davis dominated the bout right away thanks to his speed and strength. He was able to control the fight's tempo by using his speed and agility, and he connected with many devastating blows that stunned Walsh. Walsh maintained his composure under duress and put up a valiant defense, but Davis's speed and strength were too much for him to handle. Walsh was ultimately unable to match Davis's hand speed and power, and in the third round, Davis knocked Walsh out to retain his IBF Junior lightweight title. Davis's speed and power were on display in this match, which also cemented his place among the sport's elite prospects. He demonstrated that he could compete against seasoned veterans and that he was a formidable opponent. The next fight we got is against Rolando Romero. The matchup of 2022 for Tank Davis was his fight against Rolando Romero. The long-awaited fight was held on May 28, 2022. At the time, Davis was just 27 years old, with a record of 27-0 and 25 KOs. Romero also had an undefeated record of 14-0 and 12 KOs. He was 26 years old. The fight was a strategic masterpiece from both parties. Tank showed discipline unseen before. He is already making headlines, but this match exceeded all expectations. Davis attempted to go inside and throw his signature left-handed uppercuts, but Romero used the jab as a rangefinder and a deterrent. With Davis prowling the ring, looking for opportunities to land rather than unloading and taking control of the action, Romero's tactic was beginning to pay off as the rounds continued. Romero also violated the rules to the point of violating them by frequently using his elbows and putting Davis to the ground after connecting with a clean right hand in the second round. The referee issued him many warnings, but no points were deducted for the repeated fouls. In the sixth round, Romero appeared to think he had the perfect opportunity to step up his attack as he pursued Davis to the ropes and prepared to unleash his wild power punches. Romero was cleanly hit with a left-hand counter that Davis calmly unleashed, sending him flying into the ropes and then tumbling to the canvas. Tank enjoyed a gracious victory. Tank has a fight set up with Ryan Garcia on the 15th of April 2023. It is the biggest fight of his career and is already making headlines everywhere. Tank also has a special relationship with Floyd Mayweather, one of the biggest names in boxing. Davis's professional career has benefited greatly from Mayweather's assistance, and he has played a significant role in his ascent to stardom in the sport. He has been Davis's consistent source of support and direction, both inside and outside the ring. He has assisted Davis in developing his brand, negotiating contracts, and securing high-profile contests. Mayweather has been instructing Davis in the ring in addition to serving as a promoter and coach. In addition to helping him create a style that is all his own, he's been working with him to increase his defense, agility, and power. In the realm of boxing, Mayweather and Davis are regarded as a formidable team due to their tight and supportive connection. They are both dedicated to cooperating in order to accomplish their shared objective of creating a lasting legacy in the sport. Davis is anticipated to continue dominating the sport and have a long-lasting influence on the boxing industry. with Mayweather's leadership and backing,